Hello everybody, it's Zach here from realestatelicensewizard.com. Today we're doing another real estate exam vocab term of the day. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying these. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Now without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so lately we've been covering estates. Specifically, last week we did freehold estates, and then this week we've done less than freehold estates or leasehold estates. In this video, we're going to tie it all together and discuss an estate at sufferance. So let's start, like always, by defining the term. All right, so an estate at sufferance or estate in sufferance arises when the tenant holds over after the expiration of their term. So what exactly does that mean? Well, I think another way to put it really well is if a tenant who lawfully comes into possession of their landlord's real estate continues to occupy the premises unlawfully or improperly after his or her lease rights have expired. And again, that makes sense, right? In this situation, there was an agreement and it was perfectly legal in the beginning. Maybe it was maybe it was a fixed lease, a fixed term tenancy, something like that. And maybe, they were there for a year or so. And then after that, the landlord's like, hey, I got another tenant coming in and this previous tenant is just staying there, essentially illegally. So at this point, they could be subject or they may be subject to eviction. Usually that's the case. But depending on state law, uh, that's what happens next. And depending on state law, they actually, interestingly, could be accused of trespassing. So yes, if there's ever a question on the exam where it's like, is an estate at sufferance a bad thing? The answer is yes, it's a bad situation. Because again, the landlord has somebody, holding up in their property without a lease or without an agreement in place. Now, interestingly, there could be agreements. Maybe they're like, oh yeah, we're paying you like under the table. But again, it's not, there's no lease. It's not a legal agreement. So essentially an estate at sufferance is a bad thing. So to recap, tenancy at sufferance refers to the holdover tenants of an expired lease who no longer have the landlord's permission to remain in the property or at the property, but have yet to be evicted. So again, it's that chunk or that space in between the eviction and the part where the lease ends. That's what an estate at sufferance is. And again, it is a bad thing. So how does that tie into everything else? Well, obviously, we just finished all the leasehold estates and estates in general, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed and kind of learned that. But tenancy and sufferance is kind of in its own area. Technically, again, it is a leasehold estate, or it was a leasehold estate because there was a lease involved, but it's more or less a time period or a particular instance where, again, somebody is living kind of unlawfully or illegally in a position where they previously were legally living. Does that make sense? I hopefully. To be honest, this is probably the most confusing estate to kind of understand, and I think the best way to understand it is just with examples, kind of like what I gave you guys in this video. And I guess I'll give you guys one more if you're still not understanding it. So let's just imagine that you and your family move into an apartment and you set up a lease for a year, and maybe your year goes by and you have like no place to go after that year. Maybe you just lost your job, maybe all these bad things happened, and you really don't have a choice. And I'm not going to get into the morality of all this, but let's just say you don't have a choice and you're living there like just another month. The landlord's not happy. He puts an eviction notice up and things like that. Well, that month that you're there, but between the eviction at the actual date of the eviction and the time that the lease ended, that is again the estate at sufferance. So I hope that makes sense. I know I've like explained this like 8 different times, but honestly, guys, this is probably the most complicated lease or estate to understand. If you can understand this, you're going to be so far ahead, and come exam day, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I got this. Um, but yeah, sorry for the tangents. I apologize on that. I hope you guys figured it all out. If not, hey, comments, questions, all that good stuff down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions and stuff like that, specifically on this topic or just real estate exam topics in general. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about all these estates, leases, all that good stuff. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more comments, questions, all that good stuff. As I mentioned, leave them down below. This was Zach from realestatelicensewizard.com. As always, make today magical. See you guys next time.